It's like this little dirty little bass line.
I don't fucking care. Can we move on to a new segment, please?
Welcome to Just Two Fans, a sports show about sports,
Obviously.
about life,
Because sports are life.
and about just whatever the hell we feel like talking about. So, let's go.
What is up, everybody?
What's good, y'all?
I'm Jamie Friedlander. That is Eli Johnson. And we are joined today, as per usual, by super producer Cameron. Say hi, Cameron.
Hi, Cameron.
Consummate professional.
You weren't going to get me 2 weeks in a row.
I didn't try this week, to be fair.
Yeah, it's fair.
And we're back in our natural habitat.
It's true.
So it would be a lot harder for me to get you.
Yeah, but I was like pressing buttons and moving things around, so that would have been a good time to try.
I gotta say, man, like I could really get used to just having a professional studio for us to do this.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate that.
Right? Yeah, I think that there's some good things that came out of that. Some really good things came out of that experience.
You know what?
At least one really good thing, you know?
You know what? Fuck me.
Give me
Well
shit
done.
about not having
Yeah.
buttons, and you knew the first one I put on here was that one. But you had to know,
You
it was
had to
gonna
know
be
this
that
was coming, Jamie.
one.
Yep.
Jamie's going to forever be bitter towards Illinois.
You know what? I just remembered something.
I didn't get Froyo for you.
You
I'm sorry.
didn't get me Froyo.
You remembered in the
We
airport
did
on
have time,
Sunday,
but when
too.
we did have time, we were all
Done. We
Yeah,
were done.
dead.
Dunskies.
Last weekend was fucking awesome, but good Lord, that specific weekend,
Yeah, it's a long couple days for
it just
the old
drains me,
Just Two Fans
dude.
podcast.
Just drains me. Like yesterday I was texting you guys and I was like, when are we recording this week? I was like, oh shit, like tomorrow is Wednesday. Like we pretty much have to do this right now.
Yeah.
So here we are. We're recording. All good things. Ducks are undefeated. Got a
Yeah,
big
they are.
win on Saturday.
Yeah, they are.
The Buffaloes are bowling
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
and rolling.
Rolling
and
and
a
bowling.
rolling.
Looking good. But we are going to start with everybody's favorite news segment, Trackside with Cameron. Take it away. Attaboy. Just
All right.
open
So
the
we had a
game.
race last weekend in Mexico City. And, you know, I thought that because he wasn't starting on pole, that Lando had a chance. And he was making some ground. Got caught up in some fighting and some pretty standard
fighting. That's-
standard Max driving when Max isn't driving well and he drives with emotion and not technique.
Dude,
And
you're
he
being
just-
so nice right now.
I mean, it's fighting, you know. No, nice would have been like, well, Max had his elbows out like the Brits do
Max was being a giant cunt about it.
in one lap, in 4 corners. Max picked up 20 seconds in penalties. And the
Jeez.
first one was like, you forced him off, right? And you're like, okay, you know, shit happens. Like, it probably wouldn't have been as bad if in turn 8 on that lap, he didn't just dive bomb through the apex and like just cut and go straight through rather than turn left, and then pushed Lando completely off, gained ground out of the racing line and out of bounds. And the FIA said, not 2 weeks in a row, bud.
Not
We can't-
today.
We can't excuse that. Everyone just saw that. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And it's funny because I saw a picture of Christian Horner had actually pulled up like the telemetry for that corner and tried to say that Lando wouldn't have made the apex or made it inside of track
Of
limits
course he would do
anyways.
that.
Jesus
And
Christ.
It
Christian.
was peak Red Bull, just
Oh, yeah.
you know, covering their
Arrogance.
butts and arrogance and just trying to be we're at the top. But alas, it didn't work. Max finished 6th. Lando finished 2nd. And up in first, Carlos Sainz picked up the win, and it was good to see him pick up, maybe his last win as a Ferrari driver. I mean, we've got 4 more races, 2 more sprints. He's headed to Williams next year. He just seems like a pretty chill but intense dude, especially from the family he comes from, and his dad being a fantastic racer. So it's good to watch him win. It's good to see those Ferrari boys doing well. And it sets up an interesting last couple weeks. So like I said, we've got 4 races, 2 sprint races, and Ferrari just leapfrogged Red Bull into second in the constructors.
Damn.
And the current driver standings, Lando is only 47 points behind Max.
Ooh, the plot thickens.
So we have
a battle.
It's getting better. Like his chances with Max finishing in 6th this week, that opened the door. Now I don't think Max is going to finish out of the top 5 the rest of the season, but if he races like he did this last weekend, nothing is off the table. Lando's got to get a couple wins to like really have a shot at this.
At least 2, probably 3 of the last 4 have to be wins.
Yeah. So if they go, I mean, realistically, Max has to finish like lower than 3rd, and Lando has to finish 1 or 2, and really give it a shot. But, I think with the sprint weekends, there's something like 59 points available to the Max as far as the team. So, I mean, as far as constructors, no one's out of it of the top 3. Red Bull can make it back. But that would require Checo to actually race and not finish qualifying P18. Nope. So I don't see that happening. I think that it'll come down to last race. I hope that it'd be cool if it was a 1-2, like, or whoever finishes higher, like they're within a couple points of each other.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
And they can race it out, and it gets closer to like other racing series where you don't have to finish first. You just got to finish ahead of everybody else or ahead of your rival or, who's right up there with you. So we've got some cool stuff coming up, and we're going to have a fun end of the season.
I love it. I have a question for you.
Uh-huh.
Did you do any work today?
It's Friday then.
Sorry, Lando's talking.
Saturday, Sunday, what? It's Friday then.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
It was just like a slow day. I was at like 11:30. My inbox was clear. My voicemails were returned. No missed texts. I was like, all right, we're just gonna take lunch real quick. And then I
was like, let me tee up this trackside audio.
Yeah, that's the only.
It's good. I like it. I
don't
appreciate
say
it.
anything else that would require sound bites because I didn't prepare anything else. So yeah, gonna be a fun rest of the season. Race on Sunday after the sprint on Saturday.
Again? There's a race this weekend?
Yeah.
Jesus, dude.
Was it in Austin?
3 in a row.
No, it's in Brazil. Austin was.
You know what was in Austin? There was a football game.
It was.
Oh.
There was also a sprint on that Saturday, and then a race on Sunday. A sprint.
A sprint.
The SEC. A sprint race.
A sprint race.
Sprint race.
What's this one? Brazil?
Yeah, we have Brazil.
Hey, it's not like a normal-ish time.
10 a.m. What is that?
Ooh, that's nice.
Followed by 11 p.m. in Vegas. Ugh. Except that race was fucking sick last year.
Yeah, that race looks cool. Hopefully they've got their drainage cover things fixed up after last season.
I don't know, man. That race was the surprise of the season last year for me.
Oh, absolutely. I think it was for everyone.
Most people. Because if you look at the track, if we looked at the track leading up to it, like, this is going to suck.
Yeah,
and it was incredible.
Yeah, that straight looked god awful. But it works. You know, the strips looks cool at night. Having those race cars out there,
fucking cool.
I think it based on the scheduling from last year and what I've seen for this year, going as a spectator would suck. Getting
Oh,
around Vegas sucks anyways, but they closed down 3 major streets, and then, with like P1 and P2 happening at like 1 a.m. Yeah, it just doesn't sound fun,
no.
but
Nope.
it's fun to watch. Like, and yeah, like you said, it was better than last year, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But then we got Qatar, and then we have our race to finish it up at Abu Dhabi. So,
Cool.
gonna be a good end of the season.
We got a couple really fun races in there.
We do.
Gonna be a lot of fun.
Lots of fun.
Cool. Let's
Check it
get
out.
on to some other sports before we talk about college football. The World Series is on right now. Game
It is.
5 is happening. Obviously, Dodgers got out to a 3-0 lead in this series. You got Freddie Freeman out there hitting home runs in the first 4 games of the World Series for the first
Jeez.
time ever. Did you guys see, and I know you did unless you just didn't pay attention to what I sent you, the fan interference from the game last night?
Yeah, wild, dude.
Yeah.
What the actual fuck was going through those chuckle fucks' heads?
That's the most New York shit I've ever seen in my life.
Seriously. Like, if somebody was like, what's it like in New York? Just show them that clip.
Yeah, right.
And then
Can you
if they,
imagine, like, you
if they
pay
like it
thousands-
and they're pro that, you just got to be like, oh, I hit the wrong button. We'll tee it up later.
Wow.
swing and a miss. Yeah, man. Like, and for those who don't know what I'm talking about, it was a foul ball. Mookie Betts caught the ball going into the stands in right field. And the fucking Yankees fan sitting right there grabbed his glove, ripped it open to rip the ball out, while the fan sitting next to him was grabbing his other arm so he couldn't, like, free it. It was the most insane
fucked
thing
up.
I've ever seen.
Speaking of Mookie Betts, he's up right now.
Yep, man, he just popped out. But
It'll score one.
scored 1. And the Dodgers take a 1-run lead in the top of the 8th.
I don't know if you've been watching today, but the Yankees jumped out to a 5-0 lead, and then the Dodgers tied the game with no earned runs in the top of the 5th.
Yeah, I saw there was a comedy of errors. I didn't see what happened,
Yep,
but
pretty brutal.
that's a rough way to lose if that's how they go out.
Yeah, right. They 5-0 lead, and then
They choke it away.
Yeah, they literally choke it away.
I would love to say I feel bad for them.
I was telling Haley that I was like, this is like such a lame duck World Series for like a lot of fans, because it's just the 2 teams that paid the most money
By a lot.
Like, that's all this is. It's just like, we just bought all the great players in the MLB, and that's how we got here. It's like, yeah, it's just not. There's no intrigue to it. It's just like, we just bought. I forgot how like incredible these lineups are.
Oh, it's insanity.
Like,
if these two teams should be in the World Series every year.
Yeah, like it's unbelievable, man. Like it goes, what is it? Soto, Judge, Jazz Chisholm, then it's Giancarlo Stanton, and then after Giancarlo Stanton it's Anthony Rizzo. It's just like unbelievable.
Yeah, their lineup is Torres, Soto, Judge, Chisholm, Stanton, Rizzo, Volpe.
Yeah.
That's insane. Oh, and then you just flip to the other side of the field, and then you got Ohtani, Betts, Freeman, Hernandez, Muncy, Hernandez, Edman. I don't know who Edman is. I haven't paid much attention this year because the Rockies were ass. But, yeah, man, it's fucking crazy. Luckily, Freddie Freeman's like the most likable guy in baseball.
Yeah.
So, like, if I'm rooting for anything, him being happy is okay. I just hate that it's for that soulless town in Southern California. But again, like, there's no winning this for for your casual sports fan that's not
Yeah.
LA or New York. This is
For
a
really
lose-lose.
anybody outside of these two teams, like are fans of these two teams. Everyone else is like, this sucks,
It's a
man.
lose-lose. Yeah, this blows.
Yeah, like, oh yeah, like, oh, the two teams that
Are
like there's no
buying
intrigue.
championships. Yeah.
There's no intrigue at all. Like there's no underdog story, nothing. It's just, yeah, we just
Yeah.
bought it.
Garbo. So that's that. We'll keep you updated with the haps in this game.
The hat.
Hopefully, I guess I hope at this point, I just want it to be over. So the Dodgers win it on the road today. So
yeah, I'm kind of rooting for that right now too.
That's where I'm at with this.
Right, because
Although I will say,
New York the fans have to endure losing it there, and Dodgers fans don't get to enjoy winning it at home.
yeah, I mean
It's
that's
the
what I
best
said
case.
all along.
Yeah,
I wanted the away team to lose it or the away team to win every game, but we clearly didn't get that. I will say, as much as I don't like either of these teams, a walk-off fucking grand slam in the 10th is exciting no matter who's playing.
That was so sick.
Especially with a guy that fucking broke his ankle 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Like, so cool. Like, I don't care who's playing. This is the point that a lot of people don't get, right? Like, we're talking about how we hate this World Series. Like, it sucks. But, like, good sports moments are good no matter who it is.
Yeah. Sometimes. There's some where I'm
Unless
like,
it happens against you. But,
or it happens at a certain school in Seattle.
like, yeah, you know, the teams you hate. Like, hate. But by and large, like, in a World Series that we, for all intents and purposes, don't care about, that was cool to watch.
Yeah.
So that's that. NFL, Bo Nix, man.
He's getting there.
Saturday was by far his best game. I don't know if you saw any of it. That was the first time it looked like he was comfortable in an NFL game.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the throws he was making on Saturday, I was like, oh, that's Oregon Bo. Like, he's comfortable. He's in rhythm. He's in sync with his receivers. He was on the fucking money. And he should have even had a better statistical game than he did. If you look at the box score, he was 28 of 37, 284 yards, 3 touchdowns. Passer rating of 124.2. That's a really good fucking day, no matter who you are.
Day. Yeah.
That's with a fumble on the first drive from a pass, so should have had another completion, and with a fumble on the 2-yard line by a wide receiver that should have been another touchdown. So he should have had a 4 passing touchdown day, 1 rushing touchdown day with around 350 yards. That's a day. I don't care how bad the NFL team is that he played, and Carolina's really bad. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
They are ass. But that's an NFL football team, and he lit them up. So, love to see it. Real test coming up this week against Baltimore Ravens, so we'll see how he does on the road there. But it's been fun for me to watch.
It is fun. I mean, to see the Broncos like competing again is always fun.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, we're talking. I mean, the sports radio guys here talk about potentially the first winning season in the last 8 seasons, which is
has
insane.
it really been 8 seasons since the Broncos?
Yeah, dude. 2016 was the last winning season.
Jesus.
The year after the Super Bowl was the last time they had a winning record.
I hate that for us.
Yep, real bad. Luckily, we have college football teams that are doing really well, which is a good segue.
You got that.
To college football. This season is just incredible. There wasn't a whole lot of craziness this last Saturday. Everything was kind of calm in the world of upsets. But there were some good games, good matchups, a lot of good things to talk about. So let's get into that. It was a good week for us picking. We were
good pickings.
We were all 19-1 in our money line picks.
Not bad at all. We know
Not
ball.
bad at all. We know ball. The three of us on this show today, all missed the LSU A&M game. We picked LSU, but Chris did pick A&M, so he saved the line there. Chris fell short in his Wisconsin upsetting Penn State pick, which was actually looking good for quite a while.
It was. There was a minute there. I was like, God dang it.
But we'll get to that. Let's start. We'll just go through the Big Ten as per usual, get into the other games, and talk about highlights from each. Rutgers at USC. Be fully honest with you, I watched none of this game because it was Friday and we were busy.
Mm-hmm.
But USC won big, 42-20. That's all I got.
This week on takes on like the games from the weekend, we might not have a whole lot of them because we were very busy all weekend. So
yeah, we'll have takes for the two games we watched in their entirety, which was Oregon and Colorado.
Yeah. We saw a couple other ones, but kind of in passing and such.
And we caught highlights of the rest, so we'll have some talking points. But it's going to be a slow week for takes, but that's okay. Yeah. Nebraska at Ohio State. Turns out Ohio State losing their left tackle in the middle of the Oregon game. I'm blanking his name right now. If one of you two wants to do a little researchy action.
That's producer job.
Turns out that was
healthy if I know his name.
Ohio State left tackle injured. That's what you need to search. Ohio State struggled.
Wait, hold on. Sorry. Cameron, that was like the most boomer shit you've ever done. Not knowing how to Google. Are you fucking kidding me?
No, I know what I said is it's not going to get him healthy if I know his name.
Oh, not get him healthy. I thought you said I'm not going to be able to. Yeah, I thought you said
no,
it's not going to help me.
like, and I knew his name was
boomer, dude.
I knew it was Zen Michaelski or Michaelski, but
have you guys ever watched your parents try to Google something?
Oh, it's painful.
No, I don't prefer self-torture.
Yeah, it is.
That's not a thing I do.
Just the worst thing.
I usually take over. You know what's? I don't want to like totally blast my dad, but like watching my dad text, especially when he's trying to like walk or do something, he just dude. the neurons just do not fire.
When they're reading something on their phones, just you know what they're reading because they're saying it.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh yeah, hope that wasn't supposed to be private. Like,
or their text is like this big.
Yeah.
I get the 18 texts for one sentence,
mm-hmm.
like the 5 or 6 words at a time. So I'm accidentally hit send.
I just get like one word replies from my dad. He doesn't even try anymore.
No, my dad doesn't either.
I'm like, hey, how about them ducks, Dad? He goes, yes.
Not even exclamation mark.
It's pretty funny how like he texts back sometimes.
That's pretty great. Anyway, Ohio State struggled with Nebraska at home on Saturday. I saw on Twitter, I think it was like the Columbus something. One of the newspapers in Columbus tweeted on Saturday about how the game day atmosphere at the shoe is awful and why can't it be more like Oregon, which is fucking hilarious.
Was this the Columbus Dispatch?
That one. That's the one. See, you do know how to do things.
And I just scrolled down. I figured they'd have something about the left tackle. They did.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Zen Michaelski.
Yep, totally. He's hurt, and they are. It's going to be interesting to see Ohio State for the rest of the season.
It's amazing to me that Ohio State doesn't have apparently any depth at left tackle.
I mean,
right? Like if you look at Oregon's offensive line has been injured all year.
Yeah, but they also struggled early until they found the mix, right? Like
they found the mix, but like
I mean, maybe it just takes time, right?
Sorry. That was their second left tackle to get injured. Their first one in the Oregon game was Josh Simmons. He's out the rest of the season. Zen Michaelski got injured at Nebraska, and then they bumped their left guard to left tackle.
Oh, so they're
so now they really have to do something.
They're down baddest, and Michaelski's not going to be. Looks like he's not going to be back for Penn State.
Woo! That's interesting.
That might be changing a pick over here.
No, they did have depth. They no longer have depth.
They no longer have
They
depth.
They are
had
out of depth.
had past tense depth. Man, the Yankees are keeping this close. Anyway, so Ohio State struggle with Nebraska. I think if you give Dylan Raiola a couple more years of experience and this circumstance, maybe they pull it off. They didn't, but Ohio State wins by 4, stays in the race in the Big Ten, but they got a couple big matchups coming up with Penn State, Indiana, and Michigan to close out their season. So the road doesn't get any easier in Columbus.
No, it really doesn't. I mean, they got their biggest test out of the way, which was Oregon, and they lost. So
Yeah, they failed that test,
they did fail that test.
which is great. Glad
We
they
love
failed.
that for us.
Indiana, man, continuing to roll. Took care of Washington. They did take care of Nebraska also. Just back-to-back fantastic chef's kiss weeks from Indiana for me. I'm the biggest non-Hoosier fan over the
I know,
last
right?
2 weeks.
Yeah, just stomping Washington with their backup quarterback just makes my heart sore.
Watching Washington just fail miserably,
That's
Just-
just great.
it warms the soul.
It really does.
Just like it.
The
it
tailgate
does
was like
good
feeling a
things.
little bit chilly that morning, and I just remember watching the game and being like, "Oh, I'm fine now."
Yeah, I'm
I
good.
was cold, and then I was watching the game on the TV, and I was like, "Oh, now I'm warm.
Yep,
This feels great now."
it's perfect.
Yeah.
Yep. Iowa destroys Northwestern. I think Iowa has just shown us this year that they are a solid second-tier Big Ten team.
Yeah. I feel like that's kind of where we thought they were, and
Yeah.
then they had that offensive spurt where we, maybe expectations shifted a little bit, but I think they're kind of back to where they should be.
They beat up on the teams they should beat up on, and they lose to the teams they should probably lose to.
Yeah.
The exception being Washington, I think. They lost to Washington, right? No, they crushed Washington.
Yeah. I was like, what, really?
The exception was Michigan State.
That's right. Yeah.
They
yeah,
kind
that
of
was
laid
last
an
week's.
egg against Michigan State. Minnesota takes care of Maryland. I saw none of this game, but it was 21-0 after the first quarter.
Yeah, that 4-point spread seemed real weird.
Yeah,
When
Seemed
last
real
week we were
weird.
looking at, really 4? Like
that was one of my best bet options.
what has
Yeah.
Maryland done?
Yeah.
That not even
Nothing.
what has Minnesota?
No,
what is
that was
Maryland
a
shown they
total.
could do?
It was a total overcorrection after beating USC.
Fair,
Yeah.
That is 100% a USC hangover effect.
fair.
And then Michigan beats Michigan State in the Big House in what was, other than a couple scuffles, a very boring game.
Just a real
This
boring game.
is one of the ones we had on at the house after the Oregon game, and it was just so uninteresting.
I literally I don't have a take on it because it was so boring.
We barely watched it. It was on,
Yeah.
but
I
Yeah,
don't even
just-
remember looking at it in the quad.
no,
box.
dude, in the quad box, it was such an afterthought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Quad
it
box
was
is
it
elite,
was that bad. Quad box is elite. If you're looking for a way to watch college football, YouTube TV is it.
Yes.
They're not sponsoring us. If YouTube TV wants to sponsor us, we will plug the shit out of you
Oh yeah.
because I use the fuck out of YouTube TV for sports.
So I'm watching the World Series right now.
Got 3 things up right now. It's awesome. All right, let's move on to non-Big Ten action. BYU at UCF. This is another one that felt like a weird line. UCF -2 was the line. BYU continues their winning ways.
Yeah,
to
we all
move
saw right
8-0.
through that one.
Yeah. 37-24. Basically on cruise control in the second half.
Yeah.
14 of those UCF points were garbage time in the fourth quarter. Like, this was not even as close as the not close score shows.
Mm-hmm.
One of the surprising games of the weekend that we did pay some attention to in our quad box was Kansas at Kansas State. And this is one of those times where, Eli, how you get frustrated with EA and you're like, these rivalry games are like way too hard for no reason. And then you look up at some of the rivalry games that happen in college football and you're like, damn it.
No. My problem with that is not necessarily the fact that they are harder, is the way they make them harder.
That's fair. I get it.
But yeah, like when I'm number 1 Tennessee with all these elite players and I'm playing a 1-6 Kentucky, and for some reason they're perfect.
Undefeated Liberty lost to totally defeated Kennesaw State on Thursday last week.
It's true.
Just saying. But Kansas kept this one interesting and really should have won. They literally fumbled away their opportunity to win this game.
Yeah.
And they were going to win it. If they have any, I know nothing about Kansas because they've been so bad. I just haven't paid any attention. If they have any semblance of a kicker, they were going to win this football game. And they fumbled it away on that last drive.
Pull Dilly move and open tryouts, man.
The running back is the one that fumbled. So
I know, but kicking game.
I don't know if they have a kicking game or not. He did kick at least a couple field goals. So Oklahoma State is one of the more confusing teams this season to me. 0-5 in Big 12 play. Really just got beat up by Baylor, especially in the fourth quarter when it mattered. Nice. I don't really know what to think about this at this point.
Did we pick this game?
We did not. He went off script.
Sorry, I was just going.
I'm just sitting here going like, I
was going down the. I have the ESPN stats up, and I saw 0-5 next to Oklahoma State, and it's shocking to me.
Yeah, they shouldn't be that bad. They have one of the best running backs in the country, and they're like not utilizing him very well.
Or he's just not effective.
Maybe he's just not very good. I don't know.
I mean, he had 18 carries for 77 yards and 2 touchdowns on Saturday. It's nothing special.
I mean, yeah, it's like I would say on like the good half, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, it's 4.3 yards a carry. It's slightly better than average, but it's nothing like last year. He was insane.
Yeah. Oh, he's definitely lost a step this year for some reason.
And I don't know if the line's bad. Like, something's got to be up. I just don't watch. So, anyway, sorry, I went off script. Cincinnati at Colorado was the nightcap. Colorado really controlled this one throughout, and it was closer than it should have been at the end. Like, this really should have been an even bigger blowout than it was. Colorado won 34-23. Travis Hunter is him. Showed it again in this game. Just fucking unreal catches. 9 receptions, 153 yards, 2 touchdowns. Played 132 of the 133 snaps.
Like, he's incredible. I just man, that many snaps. Like, I keep having the feeling like if you keep that up, it's not sustainable. But it may be for him. It doesn't feel sustainable.
He did that coming off an injury.
I know. That's why it doesn't feel sustainable.
It's insane. I'm just going to enjoy it while we have it because I've never seen anything like it. And
not only did he score a touchdown off an injury, he also did a backflip as his celebration.
Backflip into a superhero Spider-Man landing.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess he's athletic.
He's a freak, dude.
Yeah. Insane.
But the Buffs are bowling for the first time since 2016. COVID doesn't count. Miss Peggy gets her bowl game.
Good for her.
Awesome. Just love it. She needs to hang on. She turns 100 in like 3 weeks.
Yeah, on the 19th.
Dang.
She just recovered from COVID, sounds like.
Yeah, she's
From
on her
Dion's-
way. She wasn't there this weekend because she's still kind
She
of
gets tired. is what
fussing
they
with
said.
it. But they called her. She sounded good on the phone. She sounded upbeat. So, yeah, now, as Dion said, Miss Peggy's a lady. She's classy. She needs a nice bowl game. So they're not done winning.
Needs a nice bowl game, but they're bowling no matter what. And,
True.
If you had told me that that's where we'd be in year 2 after what should have been an 0-12 campaign 2 years ago, I would take it in a heartbeat. So looking good in Boulder. Why is Shedeur Sanders not getting more Heisman talk?
Because Travis Hunter's on the team.
There's been 2 players on teams that are in Heisman talks.
Yeah. But I think the Heisman race right now is really crowded, and so they're going to be hesitant to have 2 in the race right now.
Yeah, I think if they were
Is it fair?
undefeated,
No, but because should he be in the conversation? Yeah, I mean, I've sung his praises all season, right, or most of the season. He should be in the conversation, but Travis Hunter outshines him in the light of media. So he's just by contrast. I think if Travis Hunter isn't on this team or if he's injured or something, Shedeur is absolutely getting a lot more hype, and it's probably 2
that's
or
fair.
3.
That's fair.
But the fact that he's sharing the field with one of the best athletes we've seen in college football, he's going to get outshone. So it's just
That's fair.
Yeah.
I also feel like if Colorado was 8-0 and in the top 5 in the country right
Yeah.
now,
Absolutely.
he probably would be in that conversation.
Yeah, probably.
Anyway,
And day doesn't matter. We all talk about how dumb the Heisman is.
it's
No.
it's super dumb. Although now apparently Dylan Gabriel's the favorite.
Is he really?
Yeah,
It becomes way less dumb when one of our guys wins it.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He deserves it.
I mean, obviously.
Obviously. Let's move on to the SEC. Missouri at Alabama was I saw nothing from this game. And I don't need to because the score was 34-0, and that tells me all I need to know.
I just want to say that I called the blowout here. My reasoning was kind of spotty, but I called it. And
did.
So I'm feeling pretty good about that one.
You did. You called this one. I did not. I had Mizzou covering, and they did not do that.
I was the only one who didn't have Mizzou covering.
Mizzou is one of the biggest pretenders of the year. Certainly from like the preseason top 10.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, I thought they were going to be great this year. They fooled
We
me.
all did.
Yeah. Like
Yeah, fooled me 100%. They're returning so many guys. It's kind of like Oklahoma State. It's like, what's going on?
yeah, there's something weird happening there.
Either that or they just got figured out, which is also possible.
Very possible.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that it would be like a little bit closer to their first season in the SEC or their second when they came out and they went 12-2, and you're like, oh shit. 2012 was their first. They went 5-7.
Oh, I
That
thought
back when they had Chase Daniels.
I remember when kind of joking about the whole the SEC is totally elite. 2 teams that just joined are in your championship.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
it
mean,
was A&M and Missouri in the championship in like 2012, right?
13, and then
13.
Mizzou was in it in 14 as well. They won the East back to back, going 7-1. Like I thought that's kind of where I saw this season going for him because of the hype. I was like, sure, we're gonna get another leader.
Nope.
But
Yeah, no, big miss.
big ol' miss.
Big ol' miss. Dang, that
Ole
would have been a
Miss.
perfect
That would have
segue.
been a great segue.
you had that game.
Damn it.
We don't have all. I was looking for it. We don't
Big
have it.
ol' miss.
Oh, where is it on the list?
Texas at Vanderbilt. They almost did it again.
Dude, we were all so confident that there was going to be no magic from Vanderbilt last week. And here we are today, which Vanderbilt almost made it happen.
So where are you at with this? Like, does this, I wouldn't say it vindicates Alabama, but does it lessen the blow? Does it solidify that Vanderbilt
I think one thing
somewhat legit?
I think it solidifies more that Vanderbilt isn't bad.
Isn't
Right.
bad.
Because like they've had bad games and like, you know, they're like an okay team. I mean, they lost to Georgia Southern.
Georgia State, but yes.
Georgia State. Sorry, excuse me. Georgia State. They lost to Georgia State. So like obviously they're not a great team, but they definitely play up. And that's what this tells us, is that they play up.
That and it must be hard to play at Vanderbilt.
Yeah, home field advantage, man.
Got that home field advantage with 20,000 people.
Stadium.
Yeah.
That stadium's like mostly under
Hey,
construction.
if we as Duck fans know anything about half stadiums,
They'll sneak up on you.
Let's not do that. We
They'll
don't need
sneak
to
up
talk
on ya.
about that.
we only heard about it a million times during that
My
game.
God, so
That was some of the worst.
That
things
was-
I've ever heard in my
it was
life.
the worst.
God.
It was up there with like Boom Goes the Dynamite.
At least Boom Goes the Dynamite was funny.
Yeah,
Like,
this is
Come
just
on.
miserable. It's so loud in here. There's only half a stadium.
there's only half a stadium. If you guys haven't noticed this yet, that other half of the stadium is completely empty and under construction.
They kept panning to it.
Ugh.
Like, what are you guys doing?
Just show me the football game, man.
Please stop.
I ended up muting him in the second half because it was like literally every play. It was like, listen to this crowd. It's only half the stadium. I was like, and the Ducks were like starting to like look bad. And I was like, I can't do both. Like if the Ducks look great and they kept talking
I
about
muted it. I
could
did
handle
mute it.
Oh, I did too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Who
I was
was
like, I
the
can do one or
broadcaster
the
for
other.
that game?
Huh?
Who was the
Rod-
broadcaster for them?
Rod Gilmore.
Gilmore? Is that what it? Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
He just
Certified.
him
Duck
in
hater.
general is the worst,
Yeah.
but yeah, extra bad in that. For Texas, this is a rough showing after losing to Georgia. You know, if you're a Longhorn fan, you were looking for a statement
Mm-hmm.
coming off of that, and this was not the statement you were hoping for.
Yeah, Texas definitely they look a little shell shocked, right? They need a step or comeback win.
I'll tell you what, man. What we thought in the preseason, which, you know, we had Texas in the top 5, and they're still there, and they'll probably remain there. They've got Florida, Arkansas, Kentucky coming up. Those are 3 wins if they play how they should. But that Texas A&M game, the last week of the season, is looking more and more crazy.
Yep, should be fun.
That's going to be a lot of fun.
Hopefully.
Going to be a lot of fun. LSU at Texas A&M. Speaking of Texas A&M, I tell you what, everybody kind of wrote off Texas A&M after losing to Notre Dame in week 1, and they've just kept on chugging.
They just string along these wins. Like okay. Here's the thing. That new quarterback that they have, the kid they started, Reed, I think is his last name. That kid's legit.
Yes, he is.
Although, I mean, we don't know how he does passing the ball really.
Marcel Reed.
Marcel Reed, he barely passed the ball. But like, you don't need to if you can run it for 30 yards every play. The kid is insane. But I was like, because the reason I went off of that is because I was gonna say, like, I still don't think they look very good, right? Like, eye test, they're awful.
Yeah. Especially on
But
defense.
they're winning these games, and you're like, how? Like, they look so bad. But after that, after Marcel Reed came in, it was a whole different story. Like, he looked good.
Yeah, and
Be fun
again,
to watch.
if you look at their schedule coming up at South Carolina, is Beamer Ball could get them, but then you got
Beamer
home
Ball can
against
always get them.
you got home against New Mexico State and at Auburn, And then all of a sudden you might be looking at a top 7, top 6 matchup against Texas.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be nuts. And that's at home for A&M. So, fun stuff. The SEC is nuts this year, like certifiably really good football
Mm-hmm.
in the SEC. Finally, like they're not actually getting propped up. It's actually kind of as good as advertised. But it's definitely a lot of fun. ACC action: Syracuse at Pitt, and Pitt rolled. This one was done.
Ooh.
This one was done when we recorded last week, to be fair. So we've already covered this one.
Mm-hmm.
Oregon State at Cal. Speaking of rolling, Cal took out the frustration of the last 3 losses they have on Oregon State. 44-7 was the final here, and the 7 was total garbage time.
As their coach in college football 25, I'm very proud of them.
As you should be. Oregon State is in a world of hurt right now.
They're crumbling. They're crumbling right now.
4-4 in the Mountain West. Yikes. That's their fight song. That's their new fight song.
There it is.
Yeah, they've lost their last 3. Finishing the season with Washington State and Boise State is going to be rough. So we're looking at 6-6 best case scenario for Oregon State right now.
Yikes.
In the
My
Mountain
brother's
West.
having a bad time.
It's all right. They did it to themselves. No matter what they say on Twitter, they did this to themselves.
Yep.
Florida State at Miami. Florida State sucks at football.
They're really fucking bad.
Like they
really
suck.
fucking bad.
They suck, dude. They should have 0 wins. They are certifiably terrible.
Yep. They're bottom tier team.
They benched DJ. They had 2 quarterbacks play in this game. Neither one of them sniffed 50% completion percentage. It's really bad.
Yikes, man. That's so bad. Like, this, like, will go down in history as one of the greatest collapses of a program ever.
I think it has to be the worst. They were fucking 13-0 last year.
And, like, honestly, like, not far away from going 0-13 or 0-12, I guess.
I mean, they should have lost
Charleston
that Cal
Southern,
game.
and they should have lost that Cal game. But the other 3, they're losing.
Yeah, Charleston Southern is also 1-7. So
yeah,
I mean,
no,
you
they'll
talk
beat
about
Charleston
a
Southern.
football
Okay,
game with no
so
intrigue.
If they lose North Carolina and Notre Dame, do you think Mike Norvell's still there?
I'm
think he's
shocked
got a
he
leash
still is.
After his 13-0 season last season, do you think he has a leash, or is it just like, whoa?
I'm shocked he's still there. Football
Fair.
fans in the South are not patient.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if you're looking at it, right, Boston College lost bad. Georgia Tech lost bad. Memphis lost horrible. SMU, Clemson, Duke, Miami, all not awful losses, but they did look awful while getting beaten pretty bad. Like the losses themselves, like SMU's good, Clemson's good, Duke is good-ish. Miami is good. So it's like this streak, like if you would have told me at the beginning of the season that they would have lost these 4 games, I would have told you you're crazy about Duke and SMU, but like Clemson and Miami, I'd have been like, yeah, that makes sense. But
yeah, I mean, those 2 losses for sure, like in a vacuum, aren't bad. But in context,
they're all real bad.
Yikes.
They're all real bad.
I mean, they're just really bad at football. They're going to finish 2-10, and that's hilarious to me. We're talking about Colorado potentially going 10-2, and Florida State going 2-10.
Yikes!
And then you're going to hear all the Deion talking. Like Deion has done nothing to show that he gives one fuck about Florida State.
Okay, thank you for bringing that up because, like, I've been very vocal that I don't think Deion's long term at Colorado. Like, fine. I don't think Florida State's the job.
No.
He's actively distanced himself from Florida State.
Yes.
He doesn't even call himself an alumni from there.
No.
He actively I think something happened there that, like, he doesn't like Florida State anymore. I don't see that being the job. Honestly, I could see him taking the Florida job before the Florida State job. Truly. And
I don't think he's going to take either of them.
I don't think so either.
Unless he is just a straight liar, which you can call Deion a lot of things, but he has never been a flat out liar.
Yeah.
Ever.
I mean, he lied a lot right at the end of his time at JMU.
No, he didn't. Right? Not at all. When he got hired there, he said, "I don't know how long I'm going to be here." Oh. Like he was pretty vocal about how that was not the end of the line for him. Did he dodge questions a little bit like every coach does? Yes. But he didn't do what Willie Taggart did, for example.
Oh, no, yeah.
Or even Mario Cristobal, for that fact. Like, he didn't do any of that. And he has been outwardly vocal about how much he loves Boulder. And how he has no intention of following Shedeur and Shiloh to the NFL. And he has no intention of leaving Boulder because that's where he got his shot in Power 5 football. Power 4 now. So I think Deion's staying for a minute until he's tired coaching. Like I don't think he really has any intent of going anywhere else. I hope he doesn't. And that's a far cry.
I mean, we'll see.
We'll see. We will see. SMU at Duke. 1-point win for SMU in overtime. This game was wild.
Oh, yeah, dude. This game was nuts.
Duke scored a touchdown at the end of this game and had to get the 2-point conversion to tie. They did that. Went to overtime. Duke went for... Did they go for 2? I think Duke went for 2.
Yeah, they did.
To take the lead.
We were talking about it. We're on the couch. I was like, I don't understand why more people don't go for 2 for the win.
Yeah,
and then they did it
and lost. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Guess that's why.
Hey, you know what though? Like, you got out. You went out to try to win the game. I'm very much in the mindset that's why I rock with Dane Lanning so hard. Is like go out and try to win. Don't try to
play
not lose.
To win the game.
Play to win the game. That's why I would always go for 2. If I'm second up, we score the touchdown. They score a touchdown. We score a touchdown. I'm 100% of the time just going to go for 2. Say, this is it. You win or you lose right here. Do it. Make it happen.
Do it.
Do it. So, yeah. Like
I'm with you.
I rock with it, man.
You. Yep, I agree. Boise State at UNLV. Boise State survives this one. It was a 3.5-point line, which we all thought was crazy, and they won by 5.
Yeah, I mean, turned out we're just underestimating UNLV,
which we shouldn't have.
Yeah, I mean, what they did is they went, okay, Maddox, try to pass it over us. We're gonna stack the box. We're gonna stop Genty. And largely they did. Like he had a fairly pedestrian game, especially the first half. He had a bad half, not just a Genty bad half, like a bad half.
I mean, he averaged less than 4 yards a carry. For him, that's very
horrible.
Pedestrian.
Yeah. And so it was very clear what the game plan was. UNLV said, we're going to go after Genty. Everything else, prove it. prove that you can win without him. And it was close.
You're going to see a lot of teams stacking the box against
Oh,
Boise
yeah.
State for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Now, can you stop him? That's still a question.
It's a question.
Like you could
Man,
have
if they had, like-
all 11 in the box and hand it off, and he might
Yeah.
still.
Could you
break it.
imagine if they had a Genty there and then like a Kellen Moore
Moore.
type back there? They would be
Just
like
slinging it?
they'd be insane.
Insane. Yep. That's that game. And then Notre Dame at Navy. Unfortunately, our dream of Army and
I was
Navy
so
meeting
excited.
as undefeated foes is no more.
In pretty impressive fashion.
Pretty impressive fashion. 51-14 for Notre Dame.
We all picked Navy to cover, and
They
nope,
did not do that.
they didn't even get close.
Everything that kept Navy in like so impressive all season, not turning the ball over, being
Dodgers
super
should win the World
disciplined.
Series.
They did. That did not happen. They had seven fumbles, 5 of them lost.
Yikes.
That's not how you win football games.
No, you don't win games like that.
That's how you get crushed, and that's what they did. So that ended. So anyway, 19-1 record for all 4 of us. That's a first.
Yeah, look at
Eli wins the day, wins the week on the spread bets at 13-7. Cameron and Chris both went 12-8, and I took some risks, and they did not pay off, and I went 11-9. So that means Eli is firmly in the lead in the overall 152-40. I'm behind him at 149-43. Cameron's at 148-44, and Chris is at 138-51.
Sweet.
Yep.
Guess what, Jamie?
2-0 in our best bets 2 weeks in a
2
row.
weeks in a row. Suck it, Cam. Suck it, Cam. Suck
That's
it,
you
Cam.
slapping yourself.
You just got slapped.
Well. How the turntables.
Well done.
You're 11-9 now. We're creeping up.
Creeping up.
We're creeping up.
One more week.
Eli,
And I saw your guys' picks for this week. You're probably gonna be 11-11. I'm
gonna be honest with you. I had a hard time finding a best bet this week.
I did too.
The lines this week were
Pretty
abnormally
good.
fantastic.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll get into that in a minute as we do our week 10 preview. Chris has not made his picks yet, so you won't hear those. Hopefully he makes them before like 6 weeks later, like he did with week 3. Should we say how he did on his
Oh yeah, we
week
should.
3 picks? Chris's week 3 2.0 picks, he went 17-5.
Okay.
Is that right? Yep, 17-5. And in his spread picks, he went 14-8, which lost him the week. So that's
All
that.
right.
Week 10. We're getting into crunch time. It's November. This is when the real teams show up to play and the pretenders fall off quickly. Unfortunately for us, this we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a minute. We'll go through the Big Ten. We'll go in order of kickoff time. So that starts with Big Noon kickoff. Unfortunately, I fucking hate Big Noon kickoff.
Ruining a whiteout opportunity.
I fucking hate Big Noon kickoff for this reason. There is zero reason that Ohio State at Penn State is kicking off before 6 p.m. local time. None. No fucking reason.
That's so dumb.
It's so dumb.
Like,
there's
why is Big Noon Kickoff such a big deal? I don't get it.
because Fox owns first rights to Big Ten games.
Ugh.
And Fox doesn't want Fox's whole strategy is ABC, CBS, and NBC now have primetime game slots. Nobody has a marquee matchup at noon Eastern. So we want to be the marquee matchup at noon Eastern that gets all the TV viewership, and the other three can duke it out for primetime.
That sucks.
It's
imagine the
brilliant
night?
strategy.
But
It just
also
really
at the same time,
sucked
it
for-
is, but
for
like
football.
I don't care what the primetime spot is this week. This game is what I'm tuning into.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Big
Like,
Noon
if you have the best
sucks.
game, people are gonna watch it.
Yep.
Like I wouldn't even quad box this game. I would watch this game.
I think the theory there is like let's say the primetime ABC game is Georgia, South Carolina. It's not this week. But an SEC game that most of the country doesn't care about, but like the SEC cares about that. And
Yeah.
a lot of SEC fans are going to tune into that. No SEC fans are tuning into, not none, but like Kentucky and Vanderbilt is who gets the noon slot for the SEC. Everyone's going to watch this Ohio State Penn State game for that. So I get it, but it fucking blows.
Yeah.
A lot.
It's just another reason why TV is like ruining college football.
Yep. These TV deals and TV companies are wrecking it. It sucks. But at noon Eastern time on Saturday, Ohio State is traveling to Happy Valley to play Penn State. Ohio State's a 3-point favorite here. You guys have already changed your picks because of the Ohio State line issues, and I'm doing the same. Taking Penn State to win this one.
Same.
Yep.
Second time under James Franklin ever.
I don't know if you've seen this, but right now, as it stands, there is a less than 0 chance that Oregon could go undefeated and not make the Big Ten championship.
Yep.
Because Indiana and Penn State both play Ohio State. None of those 3 teams play each other. So theoretically, all 3 of them could go undefeated. If that's the case, it comes down to a tiebreaker of common opponent margin of victory. Oregon only beat Ohio State by 1. So if Indiana and Penn State both beat Ohio State by more than 1, Oregon could be left out.
It's not just Ohio State, right? It's all common opponents. Margin of
Is
victory.
it? I thought it was just like all. I don't know, but there's a track there.
Oh yeah, no. Oregon could be the number 1 team in the country, 12-0, and not get a bye in the playoff.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. Would that be the worst thing?
No. Gets you an extra week of rest.
Extra week of rest. Your first playoff game's at home
Yeah.
against the 12 seed.
Yeah. Although this year the 12 seed might be Boise State, so I wouldn't want that.
I'm okay with that.
I mean, I am, but at the same
I think
time,
we
don't.
would crush Boise State today.
I think so too.
So their official tie-breaking rules for the Big Ten. If two
See, this
teams are
is some
tied,
super producer shit.
if 2 teams are tied in the Big Ten standings, conference games only, following steps will be taken. First, the tied teams will be compared based on head-to-head matchups during the regular season.
Which wouldn't happen.
Exactly. So second, the tied teams will be compared based on record against all common conference opponents.
Okay. So
So
that
in this case, they're all undefeated.
they're all
Okay, next.
undefeated.
Third, the tied teams will be compared based on record against common opponents with the best conference record and proceeding through the common conference opponents based on their order of finish within the conference standings.
What?
Yeah, that one was the longest one. So based on record against common opponents with the best conference record.
So it would go through like it would say
Okay.
like if Ohio State
It's the same
beats
thing.
everyone else.
They're
It's the
still
same thing because they're
undefeated.
still undefeated.
They're still
So then we go to
But
4.
no, but then it would be it's not record, is it? Is it
Yeah.
record.
Yeah, against common
Okay,
opponents
yeah.
with the best conference record.
Yeah.
The tied teams will be compared based on the best cumulative conference winning percentage of all conference opponents.
again
So undefeated.
undefeated?
5.
Oh yeah.
The
Okay,
representative will be chosen based on the highest ranking by Sports Source Analytics team rating score metric following the regular season.
That would be Oregon.
And if they're still tied after that, the representative will be chosen by random draw among the tied teams conducted by the commissioner or some other
so
designated.
whatever the TikTok is that was saying, wait, that's 2 teams. What about a 3-team tiebreaker? There went Eli.
So I don't know because this only lists it on the Big Ten website for.
So somebody on
teams.
TikTok was saying that it goes to margin of victory amongst common opponents, and none of what you just said is that.
Yeah, none of it's No, there's like none of this is there a margin of victory.
Okay,
spot.
so that's garbage, but it could come down to a essential coin flip.
Yeah, and this is so to match the number 1, number 2 team. So, yeah, I mean this was produced on August 26th of this year. So I don't know if someone's thinking of old Big Ten.
Okay, so
tiebreakers.
there are different rules for 3 times. For additional information, including the process for 3 or more tied teams, there's another page.
Ooh.
If 2 okay, so section followed. If 3 or more teams are tied for the first place in the standing, the following steps in section B will be followed. Tiebreakers are the record of the 3 or more teams will be compared based on winning percentage in games among tied teams. The record of 3 or more teams will be compared based on winning percentage. Record will be compared based on winning percentage against the next highest. Record of 3 or more teams will be compared based on the cumulative conference again. Oh, it's the same thing. What?
It's the same thing.
Oh, here it is. If all teams involved in the tie did not play each other and no team defeated all other teams involved in the tie. Oh, what? This is it's fucking tiebreakers, man.
Yeah.
Anyways, continue with the show.
Yeah, so it just looks like
there's a path. It could come down to a coin flip, basically, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that because, like, as UCF has shown us, if you go undefeated, you can just claim a title, and that's a thing. So, like, Oregon should put up a Big Ten championship banner if they don't make the Big Ten championship. 100%. I'm fully on board with that. But back to the point, I wouldn't mind being the 5 seed. I think the 5 seed is maybe the best option of the whole thing.
Might be. I mean, it'd be nice to have a bye week, but
you get your bye week by not playing in the Big Ten championship.
Oh, true.
You're playing the same number of games.
Yeah.
That all being said, we've got Penn State winning this weekend to continue us down this train track of craziness in a few weeks.
Here's why I think it's good. Actually, you know what? You want to be the 1 seed. Like, let's just be real.
Yeah.
You want to be the 1 seed. But if you're not the 1 seed, I think 5's pretty good because your second round matchup is against the 4th best conference champion. Like, if you're telling me round 1, Oregon gets Boise State at home, and round 2, they get Kansas State in a bowl game, yes, please.
Yeah, I'll take that.
So, like, it's going to be so interesting how this all shakes out this first year because people are going to panic, right? Like if that situation, like, imagine Oregon Twitter just like melting down if they don't make the Big Ten championship, but thinking it through and be like, this may actually help us.
Yeah, and we get a playoff game at home.
We get a playoff game at home, and we get a rest before it.
Yeah,
Pretty awesome.
it'd be pretty great.
Just saying. So yeah, all that to say, Penn State is going to win on Saturday, and we'll keep the fever dream alive for whatever we're talking about. Minnesota at Illinois. Minnesota is a 2-point favorite. Now 3 points. 3-point favorite. I don't know why. At Illinois.
This is you're talking about
Another
earlier.
overreaction.
There was the overreaction to the USC win with Maryland. This is an overreaction for Illinois' loss to Oregon.
Like Minnesota's decent, right? Like
Yeah,
they're
playing
winning.
good ball.
They're playing good ball, but like Illinois is pretty fucking good.
Yeah, they're a
Oregon's
good
just
team.
that much better.
Yep.
Yep.
So that all to say, we all have Illinois.
We do.
Northwestern at Purdue in the toilet bowl of the Big Ten. Northwestern's a 1-point favorite now. I got Northwestern with 0 notes as to why.
I've got Purdue at home after a bye week, new quarterback. I like it. A new quarterback who is going up against a team that is a lot worse on defense than Oregon was.
I mean, they have to be a lot worse. They are.
Yeah, they are.
They are.
Okay.
I have Northwestern, and I was going to vamp off of Jamie's notes, so I can't tell you why either.
Vamp.
I was going to bullshit my way through this based on what Jamie said. Because I can't even go, well, I picked the home team in a coin flip. Nope, didn't do that.
Nope, you didn't. You didn't do it.
Pick the away team. Here's my notes. Purdue's really fucking bad.
Yeah, Purdue's really bad. So is Northwestern.
Northwestern's 2 wins better.
Yeah.
And Purdue laid an egg, so there we go.
Yeah.
Those are my
They had a
notes.
bye week, though.
That's
bye week.
what it is.
Shit, they had a bye week. Well, who knows?
They played Illinois close.
The coin
It
flip
was a good team.
continues. That brings us to the matchup of the week for us, anyway. Oregon traveling to the Big House to play Michigan for the first time since 2007.
Hold on.
We
to your
all
butts.
remember how that nice. We all remember how that one worked out. There was a Statue of Liberty. There was a fake Statue of Liberty. There was Dennis Dixon throwing for all kinds of yards.
He was so good.
Who's gonna win?
And
the Heisman?
Oregon blowing out Michigan. I see that streak continuing. 2-0 in the Big House in their last 2 games. 14.5-point favorite. I think they cover. I think this one's Oregon's rolling right now. Dan Lanning's got this team fucking laser locked in. I think the best thing that's happened to this football team, and we talked about it at the start of the season, struggling early against teams that they should have killed, is going to end up being the best thing that happened to this team.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Yeah, I got U of O big. Michigan can't move the ball against bad defenses. So I am almost expecting a shutout in this game. It's hard to do that in college football, but
So, especially if it's a blowout,
yeah,
like shutouts are so fucking
I expect this game to be in hand very early.
So, do we think rather than the typical script of screen, deep ball, they should go Statue of
Deep ball,
Liberty,
screen.
fake Statue of Liberty, deep ball? Like just
Yes.
like hit him with the razzle dazzle 1-2
The
right up
first
front.
play is a
First
Statue
play,
of Liberty.
Statue of
I
Liberty.
wouldn't put it past Dan, dude. He really loves the history of Oregon.
And then just a deep ball to Evan Stewart, just standing in the end zone,
Thank you.
and just let him know what's going to happen. Tell the Big House they can go home.
Yeah. Also, everybody I've seen a lot of analysts talking about this game, and they're all going on the road to a true road test. I'm like, I've been to the Big House, not a true road test.
That's the thing. I don't think this team cares about that. There's so
Yeah.
much veteran leadership on this football team this year
Mm-hmm.
especially at the quarterback position. Dylan Gabriel's the most experienced quarterback in college football right now. Like, I just don't think he gives a shit.
Yeah.
Well, he's
He's
gonna
like,
have these
Big
guys
House,
locked in
cool.
too. So like, and we've been at the Big House when Michigan has been down. Now they're just like down on a season, not just in a game.
Yeah,
Like-
I mean, like I will like I always tell that story about the Big House and how Colorado went up big, not big, but like they went up early and kept staying up, and then like late third quarter, early fourth quarter, Michigan made a comeback, and it was that you could hear a pin drop in the
Those
stadium
golf
when Michigan
claps.
scored that Michigan scored that go ahead touchdown. I was just like, do these people even care about this game?
The answer is no.
No.
Like, what I saw some good analysis about this, right? Like, when you have 110,000 people going to a game, you have a bunch of families going that are getting tickets for $10.
Yep.
Because they're not hard to get, and you get
That
a
was my
bunch
analysis
of
the game
casuals,
to Shannon.
right? You get a
Yep.
bunch of casuals. That was you that
That was
said
me.
that? Oh,
Yeah.
Odds said you get people that care. So good analysis by you.
Thank you.
Sometimes more people is not better, is the bottom
Yep.
line.
You need more fans, not more bodies.
Yep.
Quality over quantity, baby. It's true in a
Quality
lot of
over
aspects of
quantity.
life.
So Ducks big. We all got it.
Yeah.
Indiana at Michigan State. Indiana has rolled largely at home this season. Indiana has played 2 away games against the 2 worst teams in the Big Ten. This is a road game against not the worst team in the Big Ten, a slightly less bad team. That being said, I think they win by 2 scores.
I have Indiana
Or more.
rolling.
It might be 3.
I have Indiana roll in this game.
Yeah,
Yep.
their offense is fucking cooking.
Yeah, even with their backup quarterback. So this like that tells me that the system is cooking. Like both sides of the ball, really. Yeah, I have Indiana big.
Yeah, I do too. That's just they're moving right now.
I got motion. Quinn.
Indiana big. UCLA at Nebraska. Eli, I just saw your pick. I fucking love it.
Yeah, you do. I knew you'd like that one.
I picked Nebraska. I hope they lose every game for the rest of the season and go 5-7 because that would be hilarious.
Yeah. So I'm
And they
picking
might.
UC
They actually might. I just looked
Yeah.
at their schedule. If they lose to UCLA like you think they're going to, they might lose out. And that's
I
hilarious.
think when looking at this game, spoiler alert, I picked UCLA to win. When looking at this game, I see a team that is probably a little bit morally defeated after, you know, a good Ohio State game, but just like it proved that they're not there. A little bit morally devastated, maybe. And a UCLA team that's been getting better and has looked pretty good at times. And I think is going to surprise this Nebraska team a little bit.
I hope that this happens so much.
Me too, man.
It would be incredible. That being said, I picked Nebraska and I'm sticking with them at home. This is kind of one of those win-wins for me.
Fair.
Yep.
Yep. Wisconsin at Iowa. This game
Wisconsin.
is very interesting. Nebraska's only a 6.5 point favorite now. These are 2 5-3 teams that I think are kind of what we thought they would be, but Wisconsin started the season pretty rough, obviously getting blown out by Alabama. They're really starting to play much better ball, and we talked about it last week. They lost to Penn State, but the door was cracked open there for quite a long time for them to put in the upset bid, and they just couldn't quite close it out. Can they pull it off in Kinnick at Iowa? I think they can, and I think they will. I got Wisconsin.
Nice. I'm picking Iowa here. Don't really know why. Just kind of a gut feeling on this one. Just feels like a game that Iowa wins.
It's fair. Cameron?
Got Wisconsin both ways. Couldn't tell you why. Just kind of felt it.
Oh,
You know,
gut feeling. Great analysis on the show today.
I would
we're
love it
crushing
if Wisconsin won this game like kind of big and could get ranked for when we go there.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Because they do have a bye week before we go play them, which sucks, but is what it is. And then we round out the Big Ten slate this weekend with USC at Washington. And as we were talking to Trevor in the Airbnb this weekend, it is looking more and more like whoever wins this football game is going bowling, and the team that loses this game is probably not, which is awesome.
That makes my heart happy.
And because of that, I'm picking USC because Washington not making a bowl game is like how life should be.
Mm-hmm.
And I want that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm picking USC because fuck Washington.
It's the best analysis that we can give.
It's the only analysis I need, Sean.
Cameron,
USC. Because
Attaboy.
sometimes you do have to pick the lesser of two evils.
I see what you did.
You know, it's funny because I
Is that in reference to anything that's happening also next week?
I don't know. Infer what you want.
yeah. Oh, man, I totally forgot what I was gonna say. I was gonna say. Usually I don't root for USC.
I never root for USC. Let's be clear.
Against Washington,
This time
I root
am.
for USC.
Yeah.
And it's not even I'm rooting against USC loss, right? Or against a USC loss. I'm just rooting for them to win. Straight out.
Straight up.
Yeah.
So.
But the game won't be on at my house. So
No. Nope, because that's at prime time.
yeah, I'll put them on a piece of paper. I will not put them on my TV.
If it happens to make it into the quad box because I can't select anything else,
Because the quad box is kind of borked sometimes.
Quad boxes, Lord. Quad box knows all.
then
There
I
is only quad box.
won't have a choice. But yeah, I couldn't care less about USC Washington other than I want Washington to lose everything. Let's move on to the Big 12. Colorado is off this week, so we don't have to talk about them. Texas Tech at Iowa State. Iowa State remaining undefeated, but looking a little vulnerable the last couple weeks. If this game was in Lubbock, I would probably be picking Texas Tech, to be fully
I agree.
transparent. The fact that it is in Ames, Iowa, I'm going to pick Iowa State to win, but I don't think they're going to cover that 13.5 point spread. So I got Iowa State winning, Texas Tech.
Ooh, it's 13.5 now.
It is.
This feels like 2 scores to me. I don't know why.
10 points is 2 scores. 13 points is 2 scores.
I mean 2 touchdowns. Like this feels like a 14-point game to me. So since it's moved to 13.5, I will change to Iowa State for both.
Cameron.
Yeah, Iowa State, but by like 11.
11.
It's gonna be weird.
11.
11.
I got 10, so we're on the same page there. Arizona State at Oklahoma State. We talked about Oklahoma State. This is insane. Arizona State was supposed to be the worst team in the Big 12 by a mile.
Mm-hmm.
And Oklahoma State was one of 2 teams that are now both very bad, picked to be in the Big 12 championship game. Oklahoma State is 0-5 in Big 12 play. Arizona State is 2-2 and 5-2 overall. And Arizona State on the road is a favorite by 3 points.
That's wild.
Wild. I'm picking the Fighting Dillies.
I love that pick, and that's what I'm going to be rooting for.
Mm-hmm.
But this just feels like one of those games that Mike Gundy has no business winning.
I'm probably
How
wrong.
he pulls it out of his ass.
I'm probably wrong. Like, my gut is telling me, and even when I picked it, my gut's telling me exactly what you just said.
Yeah, it just feels like one of those games that Mike Gundy just wins for no reason.
Yeah, I think in spite of their gross ass uniforms, they can
My
win by
God,
7.
Eli, have you seen their uniforms this week?
No.
It's fucking gross.
They're
Cameron, can you please link it to him?
Yeah.
It is disgusting. Listener, look up what Oklahoma State is wearing this week. It is insanity.
You put it in the chat.
Yeah.
One of the grossest uniforms I've ever seen. Oh, it's so bad. I just opened it again.
That's not coming up.
Oh my God, it's terrible.
For some reason, it won't open.
I had to download it.
I did too.
Oh my God, it's terrible.
Oh. Without the stripes, it wouldn't be bad.
Without the stripes, it's their normal uniform.
Is that? Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think the helmet's different.
It's like the helmet is different.
The helmet I
is
think would look
different.
sick with that. But
The
those
helmet,
stripes are
the helmet
awful.
again in a vacuum. The helmet's cool. It's like they did a throwback, but put on their current modern jersey. It's
Ugh.
disgusting.
I think it just
So
reinforces that 3 lines are gross.
Dude, so
I-
bad.
I don't hate it. Like, as again in a vacuum, each of them look okay. It's just so cookie cutter. But like,
Yeah.
if you're doing a throwback uniform, do a throwback uniform.
Yeah, the like throwback Halloween blackout hybrid just isn't landing.
Oh, it's awful. This might be a bottom 5 uniform of all time.
I'm kind of watching the trailer on it right now. They did a whole hype film for it.
So did Tennessee.
Yeah,
Did you
but
see
Tennessee's is fucking dope.
Yeah, dude.
Tennessee's blackout uniforms are the opposite of this.
Oh, those are
They're
so gross.
legitness.
Again, without the stripe like arms and like socks, that uniform's dope. Right? With the Oklahoma, because it used to be like what, Oklahoma Agricultural School or whatever.
Yeah.
So the O with the A in it, like that's a cool logo. Like it's nothing crazy, but
The helmet's dope.
oof. Yeah. I mean, like the uniform outside of the long sleeve stripes is great. But yikes.
Yeah, the stripes aren't it. It's really bad.
Did Tennessee unveil their smoke uniforms again?
Yes.
Or the dark mode
And
smoke?
you should
Oh.
watch the video right now. We will have dead air for you to watch the video because it's up there with Oregon's production.
Okay. I'll watch it after. It'll be fine.
It's really
Oh
good
no, I did see that. Yeah, it was dope.
with the
It's the-
symbiote.
yeah, it's
thing.
the
Yeah,
Venom.
the symbiote. Yeah. Pretty sick.
Really cool. TCU at Baylor. Baylor breaks their incredible 8-game home Big 12 losing streak. last
Yikes.
week.
dude.
We heard that stat. We were all like, what did he just say?
What? That can't be real.
They broke it last week. Do they continue a win streak against TCU? I'm a glutton for punishment by even putting this on the spreadsheet because TCU has fucked me every time we've had them on here. Like if I didn't have TCU games on here, I would be ahead of Eli in the picks. TCU alone and Florida State have fucked
Shit,
me
should I-
so much this
Should I
year.
pick Baylor?
It doesn't matter how I pick
to
them. They
hedge
fuck
against
me
Jamie?
both ways. They fuck me when I pick them. They fuck me when I don't pick them.
That's what I'm saying. Should I just pick against you in this? Because you
Yeah,
picked
you
TCU to
probably
win?
should. Like, if you have any brain cells, don't pick
Well.
what I pick in a TCU game. Because, God dang. Odds would say I'll get one of them right someday. So maybe it's this week. Baylor's a 3-point favorite at home. I think TCU wins this one.
I do too. I think TCU gets this one.
I agree.
Go Frogs. Dumb. So dumb. Moving on to the SEC.
Yes, I say.
Florida at Georgia. This game's taking place in Jacksonville. Georgia's a 16.5-point favorite, and they're going to win and cover.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, they're gonna beat the brakes off Florida.
Yep.
Yeah, they are.
Texas A&M at South Carolina. Texas A&M is a 2.5-point favorite, now a 2-point favorite. I got the Aggies, but Beamer Ball might do it this week. Like, he's good for one of them a year, and this might be it.
Yeah, I really want to pick South Carolina out of this, but A&M does. They just keep churning out these wins. It's not pretty. They don't look good doing it, but they keep churning them out.
South Carolina also hasn't looked good.
Yeah.
So
we'll just roll. We'll just roll with A&M.
I
Yep.
won't be surprised if we get swept in this.
Neither will I, but at least we'll all get swept together.
We're all going down together.
Yep.
Let's move on to the ACC. We got Duke at Miami. Miami's a 20-point favorite, which feels crazy to me with how Miami has looked at times this season. The teams that Miami has beat by 20 or more points are Florida State, South Florida, and Florida.
Okay.
So outside of the state of Florida, they're not playing very good. I mean, they're winning, but they're not. I don't think they've covered any other game except for those three. That being said, they're going to win this game, and I think they're going to cover.
Oh, you changing your pick, huh?
I'm changing it. I think they're gonna start hitting their stride here in the last few weeks of the season. I think Miami's just kind of roll into the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree with you. I have Miami winning and covering.
Roll into the playoffs with a potential matchup against Clemson, which is going to be a great ACC championship game.
Yep.
So I don't want to just say that they're like a lock for a top 3 seed, but anyway.
I think Miami's going by like 17.
That's what I had originally. I changed it, which means that's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean they'll probably win by 21.
They'll probably win by 19 because that's just how it goes. North Carolina at Florida State. Again, Florida State's just really bad at football.
Really bad at football.
They are not getting better.
They are hosting North Carolina, and they are 2.5-point dogs.
Jesus.
That's a rough place to be in.
And this is a North Carolina team that lost to James Madison 70-50.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
It's crazy.
Wow.
I'm picking North Carolina. Go Tar Heels.
Me too. North Carolina both ways.
Same.
Let's see. Louisville at Clemson. This is Clemson's last real test of the. No, that's not true. They still have Pitt on their schedule. This is Clemson's first real test since playing Georgia week 1. So this, to me, is a pretty big measuring stick moment for where Clemson actually is in the pecking order.
Mhm.
I think if they roll in this game and cover that 10.5 point spread, like I'm picking them to do, I think Clemson's a solid top 10 football team. If they struggle through this one and barely eke out a win, they're probably maybe still in the top 10, but it's a little more iffy. And if they lose this one, then it's okay. They're a second tier team.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's good analysis. I got Clemson both ways.
Same.
Pitt at SMU. Talk about
Good
a game. Talk about a game that would have flown totally under my radar at the beginning of the season. Sneakily, probably the second best game on the schedule this week, if you're looking at it objectively. I went back and forth on this. At first, I had Pitt winning. At SMU kind of did it for me. That's a long way to go for Pitt. And SMU's playing really good ball at home. So I'm picking SMU to win this, but this feels like a field goal type game. So I got SMU winning, but Pitt covering.
That's literally exactly what I was going to say. SMU at home, really like the way they're playing. This feels like a field goal win. Like last second field goal win.
Yeah. I mean, I think this game's going to be wickedly entertaining. I think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going with it as well. And I picked Pitt on the money line for a little bit of parity, just to kind of pick that up. I think we're all, when we're all thinking that 7.5, it's to be a lot closer than that.
Yeah.
You guys said, I think Pitt is just going to be that team that finishes with the ball last from 38 yards and gets that field goal.
It feels like whoever has the ball last is going to win this one.
Yeah.
Air Force at Army. This isn't on here for money line pick because Army's going to win this game by 1 million. It feels like, but it's on here because the spread is 23.5. It's not 1 million, but that's a pretty big spread, especially for a service school.
It's a big spread, especially for a service school that we all picked.
Army by 50.
Yeah, that was my next point, is that Air Force is bad.
Mm-hmm.
So Army is probably actually going to win this by 50. So, yeah, we all picked Army. San Diego State at Boise State. Have the Broncos been figured out? Can everybody follow the UNLV model and keep Ashton Jeanty in check? That's a relative term.
Mm-hmm.
Boise State's a 23.5 point favorite. San Diego State, first of all, the field that they play on is maybe the worst college football field I've ever seen. We were watching the game, and Eli pointed it out first. It looked like their feet were we thought the field was wet because it looked like they were splashing everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It was sand. Terrible.
Disgusting.
I mean, it's in their name. They're San Diego State.
Yeah. Yep. Thank you, Cameron.
Go fuck yourself.
23.5 point favorite for Boise State. We all have Boise State winning and San Diego State covering.
I'm kind of debating throwing out, this feels like a decent line for Boise State.
Actually, so am I. I think
I'm kind of debating throwing
changing it.
Boise State.
I changed it first.
All right, fine. I'll keep it. I've been debating though.
I think Ashton Jeanty's going to
known.
get back on track. I don't think they're going to be able to bottle him up like UNLV did. This feels like a 3 or 4 touchdown kind of day for Ashton Jeanty.
Yeah, I think it could be, but it could also not be.
Thank you for that.
Thanks, Cameron.
Inspiring.
It could happen like that, but if it doesn't, it won't.
Sometimes it do be like that.
Other times, it don't.
Crazy
like
how
that.
nature do that.
Colorado State at Nevada rounds out our play for the week. In a game that nobody really cares about. Colorado State sneakily playing pretty good ball lately, 5-3 overall. Nevada struggling 3-6, coming off a loss to the Rainbow Warriors
Oof.
in Hawaii because their quarterback is hurt. Colorado State.
Both ways.
Yep. 1.5 feels crazy to me, especially if Brendan Lewis is actually hurt. 1.5 points feels wild.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
I
you know.
almost picked Colorado State as my best bet, but I did not want to dig into whether Brendan Lewis is actually hurt again. And betting on Colorado State to do anything that I would want them to do just feels wrong.
I mean, with
Feels
such a
wrong.
small margin too, like 1.5 points.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
You're basically just saying they're going to win.
yeah.
But yeah. Best bets, I've got the Ducks -14.5, and I'm sticking to it. As we talked about, this feels like a game they're going to control from start to finish. And I think Dan Lanning's looking for a statement here. So I don't think he's going to let them get garbage time points.
Yep.
Enough anyway.
Yeah. I'm going Indiana -7.5 is my best bet. I've been lower on Michigan State even when they're winning. And I'm really high on Indiana now after watching what Cignetti's done with that team. So
it's a good bet.
Indiana big.
Is this the first time we've both done Power 5 games?
Probably. I usually try to pull from a smaller tier.
It's the second time you've picked Indiana.
Oh yeah. Nice.
But it is nope. We both lost week 3. You picked Vandy -10.5. And they lost.
That's right.
And I picked the Iowa under. And for
Oh,
the first time in history, the Iowa under didn't hit. Does that mean I don't have to pay taxes this year?
yeah. And you'll never die.
And I'll never die.
I don't think it means either of those things.
That's exactly
Shut up,
what
Cameron.
it means.
I haven't
don't.
paid taxes ever, so what do I know?
Week 1, we also I
Yeah, real
picked
smart to
TU
put that
and you
on
picked UCLA.
Yeah.
That's what I'll put on my tax return when I file my taxes. Iowa covered. this
Yeah,
year.
You're covered.
Iowa over. Sorry, guys.
Iowa over.
Sorry, IRS.
Sorry, tax man, but Iowa over hit, and you know how that goes. All right, I got those bets locked in.
Nice.
What were the odds? Just out of curiosity.
-110 for spreads when you do spread betting like that.
Not bad.
If you do the opposite of
Money
or
line.
either whatever the money line is, it's always gonna be -110 usually, or -160 sometimes.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Who gets the final word?
One of you
Not
twos.
I.
Not you.
I did it during Austin.
Oh, it's Jamie's turn.
Last week, it's my turn.
Listener, viewer, thank you all for being here. Thank you for listening to us. Really appreciate your patronage. Thank you to Zeta June for letting us use your music for our outro, which is really fun and vibey, and everyone should go listen to Zeta June. Super producer Cameron, thanks for getting the stream looking toit. Appreciate you. With that, Jamie, hit us with the buzzer beater.
Deuces.